So, all of you know, this novel starts from, as we know, the beginning of action, the beginning of action. So, this is the rising action. We will explain the action here from this point, the start of the action, which we call it the beginning of this novel. Then we move to climax. The climax is the most point here in the struggle. We call it climax. Then from climax we down to the what we call it the following action. Then resolution. As we know, the resolution means that the action is gonna to solve. So the first things that will happen, plane crash on what? On the island. So as we know, this plane consists of a group of children. Their age from what to what? From 6 to 12. It's between 6 and 12. So the plane crashed on the island. So we have inside this island, we have a group of children. Their age is between 6 and 12. This is the first thing we will see at this novel. The second one we have as in chapter 1. In chapter 1, we have first meeting between those first characters, which I see it's the most characters here. So I cannot write the characters here. So the first one is the protagonist of this novel. What do we call it? The protagonist? Ralph. Excellent. Ralph. Ralph, he is the leader of, later we will know that Ralph is the leader of those group of children, and it's symbolized as a democracy. Democratic one. And the other one is Biggie. Biggie, excellent. Biggie is something like advisor who have a knowledge, a fat boy with the glasses. So everything's in Biggie represent to something. Excellent. So the first meeting we will see in this first meeting, Ralph and Biggie. So as we know that Ralph is meeting at Biggie and they found a conch shell, and Ralph blew in the conch shell, and so on. So this we will see in chapter 1. The third action, it's the main third action, is Ralph become a leader. Ralph become leader. Okay. Ralph become a leader. After Ralph blew in the conch shell, the boy or conch shell, the children are become in one group and they voting on the leader, so they choose Ralph as a leader. From this moment, Ralph is the leader of the group, and Ralph also choose a Jack. So we have another character. I'll write it the opposite of the Ralph, because as we mentioned, Ralph is the protagonist of this novel. So Jack, antagonist. Excellent. Jack is antagonist of Ralph. He is the opposite. All the adjective that Ralph have it, it's the opposite to Jack. He is the devilish one. He is we can say killer, murder, as we know, as we will know in the later chapters. And then Ralph, before action, Ralph choose Jack as what? As the leader of hunters. Chorus of hunters. So Jack, Ralph choose Jack, leader of hunters group. Hunters. You know what do we mean by hunters? Yes. Okay. Thank you. And then, if we go inside this novel, we can see that one of boys have a dream, and they explain to the student, their group, their boys. So we have the boys talks the children about the dream. You know the dream of what? You know what the peace. Excellent. Then the boy told him About what? As we mentioned, about the beast. Then, from this moment, this struggle is going to start. Struggle between what? Between whom? Between Ralph and Jack. So, Jack wants to be a leader of all children, but Ralph is the opposite of it. So, the next action is we have, as you mentioned, two leaders. So, the children split into two groups. So, this is the main action. The boy splits into group. The boys splits into what? Groups. Excellent. Groups. We have group of Ralph and we have group of Jack. We can say that's the good group, a good angle, and this is the devilish group. Clear?
Yes.
Yes. And as we know, Simon is gonna to what? To kill. After they go inside the jungle, they discover something and come back to tell their colleagues, as we know, and the children were going to kill him. Why? Because they think that Simon is what? Is the beast. Come on. Simon is killed. From this point, we can say we move to the climax. We move the highest top, the highest point of struggle.
When Simon comes, we move to the climax.
We nearest from the climax.
Yeah.
So the climax when the boys, the children, the group of Jacks come back to Biggie's glasses. Why? Because they wanted to bring a fire to the next life. So here we have a struggle between Jack and Biggie. So the climax here. Climax is when Biggie is killed. You know, Biggie is killed is the top of the climax. Biggie is killed. Biggie is killed. So from this point we know that Ralph is alone. No, and we have also a new character, Sam and Eric. What do we call it? Eric. Sam and Eric. The twin brother. Okay. And from this rising action, as we know, Jack wants to kill Ralph. Why? Because we want to be a leader at this island. So as we know, we have a lot of struggle here. The rising action. If we mention about the climax, we will know the rising action. So the most one is when a group of soldiers find Ralph and Jack. So all we can say, this is the most, I think, happiness event in this novel, when boys or children start to what? Start to cry. No? Start to cry. So it's the most important event in this novel. We meet that the end of this event. From this point, this is the end of this novel.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.